good morning, or good afternoon, folks. My name is Losco. Welcome back to the video. Today's video, I'm talking about the one time that me and my friends almost got kicked out of a park. You know, it's not that huge of a story, but it's a story me and my friends were talking about a couple of days ago when we were just sitting down having some beers. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace. So this story takes place, I believe, after prom. So it was towards the graduation at this point, and we were gonna graduate, go to college, and people were having graduation parties. People were going to houses, getting drunk, and doing things they shouldn't be doing. However, me and my group of people weren't really the type to go to parties like that. It's not because we were quote unquote boring. It's just that we never found that fond, or we just never really enjoyed those type of things. So as me and my friends decide to pick on a park, we agree on a park. We go, we're having a good time. It's a group of five of us, and we're just having a good time, right? And Brian, who's one of the five people in this group, decides to pull one of the biggest pranks that he didn't even tell us. It was something that he kept secret. So as we're going on rides, rewriting some rides that we enjoy, just having a good time as a group, we're clueless to what Brian is gonna do. We don't think he's gonna do anything dumb. And matter of fact, we didn't think anybody was gonna do something dumb. Because it's a good time. We don't want to ruin it. So Brian decides to come up with the most devious plan known to mankind. So the plan he had for his ultimate prank was gonna be that he was gonna get a slushy, and as we're on the type of a ride, probably like a hill or we were like really high, he was gonna take it out and just start throwing it everywhere, on the ride, which is not dangerous, but I know it's out of policy. It's one of those things that you shouldn't do because you're gonna ruin the experience for everybody else, or something might happen. Who knows? But Brian thinks this is gonna be the ultimate prank. He believes it's gonna be the ultimate thing to end the year off with school. So the ride that we get on, right? The way the ride works is that you hop on, you go all the way up, then you go down, then back up. It's like one of those, like, I don't know how to explain it, but you guys get the idea. So as we're at the very top, right? Brian somehow he got the slushy on the ride. I believe he hid it under his shirt or he put it on his side where they couldn't see it. But he got it on the ride. So as we're going all the way to the top, he's laughing, right? And we're thinking, oh, he's just excited. But then when we look at Brian, right? So I'm sitting next to him. He's on my right hand side. When I look at Brian, he takes out the slushy. And in my head, I'm like, yo, I ask him, why do you have that? In my head, I think about it. Why do you have that? So I decided to ask him, why do you have that slushy? And he starts laughing. And we all have that one laugh that we know we're going to do something dumb. Like, we all have it where it's like, yeah, I'm about to do something dumb. So I start laughing, like, in a certain way. It's a certain laugh we all have. Anyways, back to the story, right? So as he's all the way at the top, he takes it out. He throws a slushy on me, and he throws it on some random person on the right of him, and he just chucks it off the ride, like opens the cap and just chucks it everywhere. People underneath us, like on the bottom, they most likely got hit with slushy. And then the ride just keeps going. And ladies and gentlemen, he got two slushies on this ride. I don't know how he did it. I'm impressed that he got this far with these many slushies, and he just keeps throwing it around, yelling, throwing it around. People on the right of us on the ride are like telling him to stop. We're telling him to stop because it's dumb. So the ride does its course. We get off the ride, and as we're at the bottom, security's already there waiting for us. They grab him, they're telling him, hey, why are you doing that? You have to leave. We're gonna escort you out. And then Brian, instead of Brian taking the punishment as a champ, what he does, he looks at us and says, run. Ladies and gentlemen, when he says run, he's already turning and he starts to book it. And I mean, he's booking this. By the way, Brian was in track in high school. So, Brian, he can run. During this point, I was getting a little bit more chubby for myself. So, I wasn't as fast as I used to be. But, ladies and gentlemen, when I heard the word run, I just ran. No questions asked. So, we're all running now, right? And we had one of our friends, I'm going to call her Ellie for this story. Ellie wasn't the fastest runner, you can say. But, I've never seen Ellie run as fast like this. She started booking it as well. No questions asked. She just booked it. So as we're getting to the parking lot, and as I turn around, I see that Ellie's in the back. And behind Ellie, I see there's like three mall cops. Well, security guys, but I'm calling them mall cops for the sake of the story. you know, and she starts booking it. You can tell that she's freaking out. So, what, us in high school, we had cars that didn't have plates on them, because whatever, that's kind of key factor. It's not that important, just our cars didn't have plates on them. And so when we're leaving, Brian pulls up in front of Ellie. Ellie hops in the car, and we just start booking it out of there. We get out, we're running, and then we meet her back at Brian's house. Once we're at Brian's house, we're like, "Hey man, what did you do? You shouldn't have done that. We're gonna be in some deep trouble," And we thought we were gonna get in trouble, but nothing ever came about it. I guess they just let it go, or they just couldn't find us. So yeah, guys, the moral of the story is don't throw a slushie on a ride. That could potentially get people hurt or get yourself hurt and ruin the experience for others. But that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the story, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and I catch you folks next time. Peace.